A whole Buddhist.
A whole Buddhist lecture, like with the Dalai Lama as like uh, an ad, which is not an ad. It's like a 3-hour conference with these different spiritual figureheads, like late at night at weird times. I got it a
Dalai
few
Lama's
times.
on YouTube late at night.
Yeah.
It's a big celebration. Or waiting to be
Cable things.
Stand by me. And I feel like a clown. It's natural reaction. I learned in this basketball
It's way
town.
better.
Sleeping up, planning my getaway. Detroit, Detroit, making a man. Sign up on that automotive dream. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, Papa, Papa, a hobo. After breakfast, I'm on the road, and the weatherman lied. Hi. Da, 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 da. Do you like Paul Simon, honey? Do, 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 yeah. Da, 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 here I am, the only living boy in New York. Say that. Muted asthma. Please subscribe. Please follow. We need 1,000 followers by tomorrow. We will keep bringing you. And we might be the only ones doing it. What is this compared with absolute silence? This is my running video that I made with Alvin Long.
The girl, hey, are you last little girl? Yeah. Do your brother thing on Saturday? I don't know how I know this one. It's like I hear about it and I know it, you know?
This is my installation sculpture from Jared Posey's home.
It must remind me of the name Julep. I can't see. That was good.
I like it.
In my mind, there was a lot more running in this video. I thought this was just our running stuff, but this is when YouTube editor had, like, there was a YouTube editor.
Yeah.
And so basically I made all,
Raina. What was that action?
That's a flea market or some shit.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson. Every cult utter submission of its members. Cult members surrender everything. Give up their physical, see how they dress. But more than that, they give up mind. Cult leaders determine what their followers are allowed to believe, even in their most private thoughts.
So
In order to do this, cults separate all they have known before, force their members to renounce that always is the family. Families are the main impediment to brainwashing and extremism. That's true in every culture. So if you're going to control individuals, you're going to transform free people into compliant robots, the first thing you must do is separate them from the ones who love them most. Pavlik Morozov. Morozov had taken the supremely virtuous step of denouncing his own father to the secret police for committing counter-revolutionary acts. Once exposed to the traitor, the boy's father was executed by firing squad, the safety of the state. Joseph Stalin elevated the boy to the status of national hero. People wept in the streets when they heard his name. They worshipped him as a saint. Why are we telling you this? Because it's happening here. In the last 10 days, some of our most prominent citizens have sworn allegiance to a cult. Converts go by the term allies. Like all cult members, they demand total conformity. They ritually condemn their own nation's history, institutions, symbols, its flag. They denounce their own parents. If you've been on social media recently, you've likely seen many videos like this one. That is
What?
a child attacking her mother and father for the crime of insufficient loyalty to Black Lives Matter. Reporter Hannah Lustig of Insider.com wrote about that video, and she strongly approved of it. What you just saw, Lustig wrote, is a young person, quote, modeling the most important tenet of allyship. Modeling, meaning something done to encourage others to do the same. It's
That
America right
I literally hate my family so much. It's just, they just tried to argue with me that George Floyd didn't like it, that it was okay. It's not okay. And it's just making me so upset. I don't know. I don't know. Live here. I hate living in Louisiana. I hate living. I'm these races. I just want to leave.
I
That-
hate my family so much.
makes sense.
Just a week ago, it would have been hard to imagine. Now Isabella is a social media
No.
star.
Oh, well, maybe she's at a breaking point in her life.
But the revolution is young. Children attacking
She's
their
ready for
parents
a
is just the
breakdown.
beginning. On CNN today, a man called Tim Wise told viewers that going forward, parents must hurt their own children.
I think that without fear of being killed by police or marginalized in some other way, that our children don't deserve innocence. Tamir Rice can be shot dead in a public park, playing with a toy gun, something white children do all over the country every day without the same fear
Not
of being
really.
shot. Tamir Rice can be killed, then white children need to be told at least at the same age, if they can't be innocent, we don't get to be innocent.
Your children are no longer allowed to be innocent, says Tim Wise. Happy childhoods are a sign of race. Anti-racism activists have been saying things like this for a long
There you
time.
go. Now you've got
More
it.
than once, Tim Wise has suggested that he
Remember?
approves of violence against those who disagree. How does Tim Wise make a living? Well, in part by lecturing students. Your kids may have seen him speak. You've almost certainly heard a lot of people like Tim Wise. In America's schools, the revolution has been in progress for quite some time. Rochester School District in New York has created a Black Lives Matter themed lesson plan, teaching materials. How does mass incarceration function as a mechanism of racialized social control? One specific racial group is singled out for exclusive blame. The curriculum promotes a book entitled White Rage, the unspoken truth of our racial divide. In other words, children, there's a reason hatred and inequality right now promise to increase the, quote, race-conscious education of our students. In order to achieve that, Doug distributed materials from the Southern Poverty Law Center. Now, ironically, the Southern Poverty Law Center is itself a hate group that has been documented extensively. But now their agenda is the school's agenda. It's what your kids are learning. Need more white parents to talk to their kids about race, especially now. The letter singled out, quote, white staff and white community members, whom the principal alleged had committed, quote, both macro and microaggressions against staff of color. The principal did not specify what those crimes were. She didn't need to. Their skin color was their crime. This is a national theme. It pains us to tell you that, but it's true. It's incredibly destructive and dangerous. Now school districts are now using the 1619 Project in the New York Times, for example, as a curriculum. Argued it is not violence to loot and burn stores. It's justified. Her propaganda is now mandatory in public schools in Buffalo, Chicago, Newark, Washington. Parents understandably deeply resent this. It's deranged. It's racist. But others don't. They are allies. They've joined in. One mother in London, where the cult is also privileged, the Cultural Revolution has come to the West. What will the effects of this be? This is just a moment. It will end. How will we feel about it looking back? She no longer has innocence. Will she be grateful for that? It's hard to imagine she will be. More likely she will feel bitter and used because she has been used. And it's likely that many children growing up right now will feel the same way. Is there a single person who believes that this moment we're living through will end in racial harmony? Is it even a goal anymore? It doesn't seem like it. Instead, it seems like many in power, it's very clear, in fact, that many in power are pushing hard for racial division, for hatred, for violence. And let's pray they don't get what they want. It continues that it doesn't happen in a vacuum. Every action provokes a reaction. That's physics. We don't know where this is going. We don't want to know where it's going. The cult members should stop now, immediately, before more innocents get hurt, and they will if they don't.
The economy can fully adjust and we get those jobs back.
Do the math, and it's not hard to get to 20% unemployment.
The administration has bet so much on PPP, helping lead to what they're saying will be likely a V-shaped recovery, and that doesn't seem very certain at all.
It was just that many on the left were just kidding a couple months ago that the virus had devastated the booming Trump economy. They were thrilled. And they were wish casting gruesome jobs numbers from April basically all the way to election day. And they predicted that the economy would shed another 8 million jobs in May. Oh, what was their hate and their anger towards all those who forecasted doom, gloom? Well, it took a major body blow when the stunning May job numbers came in.
New jobs numbers show that the U.S. added 2.5 million jobs in May. Added. That's a big surprise.
This number is higher than I would have predicted. Shocking for all the right reasons to see this number.
This definitely underscored the fact that this will have been the shortest recession in history.
Month by American entrepreneurs and businesses shattered every record. The Dow jumped 800 points today, and the media was so ready to pounce on what they presumed were going to be these Florida jobs numbers that they were caught totally near 20%. Well, they deleted that embarrassment, and their second attempt read, U.S. jobless rate unexpectedly declined to 13.3% in May amid pandemic. These are the most dishonest people ever. Just own up to it, okay? You detest. Stock market was over 27,000 today.
Damn.
On election day in 2016, it was at 18,000. So an honest tweet would have been maybe, I don't know. In stunning jobs report, investors prefer Trump in a pandemic over the Democrats on the verge of victory. Now, just over a week ago, remember this, the Politico reported that Democrats are, quote,
dreading a full-blown recovery ahead of November. According to the article, the possibility of Americans getting back to work has caused some Democrats, especially Obama alumni around Washington, to panic. The election may fall in Michigan will, for all I know. And he offered this feeble response to the stunning economic news.
The president takes no responsibility for costing millions and millions of Americans their jobs, deserves no credit when a fraction of them return.
Of course, if Joe wins the presidency, we won't be seeing these types of numbers. He'll immediately make it easier to ship more jobs over to China, like we used to do. And he'll greenlight more foreign labor to take the jobs that Americans would do. It's his election to lose. Folks like James Carville are predicting a Democrat wipeout. Experts say Americans want more progressive government. Well, they said that in 2016 too, remember? All the same people made all the same predictions. But then, as now, most of the so-called experts are just horribly wrong. In fact, they're not really experts in anything I've concluded. The media figures who furrow their brows and huff and puff about the president at every turn and obsess over every tweet, all the left-wing economists, the social scientists who are desperate to usher in their era of a new normal, they've been predicting Trump's imminent political demise since day one. Their predictions about Russia and Mueller, wrong. Their predictions about impeachment, wrong. Their prediction about Trump's China tariffs, oh yeah, wrong. Their predictions about the USMCA, wrong. Their predictions about the coronavirus, wrong. Remember their predictions about the spring break COVID super spreaders? Wrong. And as I've said time and again, you, with your common sense, are so much smarter than most of these people will ever be. Again, they're not really experts. They're just people who go on TV to play the role of experts. Yeah, let's be very clear. They're not just getting it wrong time and again. If that was all it was, they wouldn't have jobs anymore. They're important because they're perpetrating a fraud on you in America. And in some cases, it's even costing lives. Like that bogus hydroxychloroquine study that was published in the prestigious medical journal, The Lancet. I mean, that's just collapsed. They had to retract the whole study. We're going to expose that later in the hour with two of the original medicine cabinets. They stopped allowing the use of that drug based on false data. How scary is that? And the experts, by the way, locked you down for weeks and weeks in your home. Some of you still locked down based on false COVID mortality projections. You couldn't go to your daughter's wedding, your son's baseball game, your favorite race. But the moment there was an event or a protest that they thought was important, all their rules were out the window. Look at Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer or Pritzker in Illinois. The left is always the same. It's always the same little sacrifice. But they won't. Just like with Obamacare, climate change, and everything else. The experts and academia, come on, they've been urging us to do things like what? Defund the police? They've been urging that for years. And they say it's going to lead to safer communities, more trust. We know that's a fraud. It's going to lead to more suffering and more destruction, but not for the rich liberals who will vote for Biden, for the hashtagging Hollywood celebrities or the Fortune 500 CEOs. They're not going to be affected, really, by a disbanded police force. They have their own private security guards and their expensive security systems. They can flee in their private jets any country they want, any time of day or night. Everyone else, they'll be just left with a lot of bad expert advice. And that's the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Judge Janine Pirro.
is John Hydish. I have the honor of being the executive director of the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation Institute. I want to thank everyone for coming this evening, and I also want to ask if you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance in honor of our troops. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
This is basement. Squirrel. Squirrel.
If you'd like to
Squirrely.
know how to
Squirrely.
hack an auditorium
Squirrel.
with 1,000 people in
Squirrely.
near an instance, I have the answer.
Squirrel.
In my quicker than you can say, lock her up, or let me tell you,
Look at Squirrel.
that's a testament
Squirrel.
to Judge Bureau. We have had former presidents of the United States up on the stage,
Right?
presidential candidates, first ladies, foreign dignitaries, famous authors of famous books, TV personalities, network anchors, Fortune 500 CEOs, war heroes, and pro football quarterbacks, except
Yeah.
for Colin. But few of them, very few of them, can attract an audience of this size so quickly. It's a testament, in part, I guess, to the power of Fox News, materialized before us as a legal expert and news personality on air, out of thin air. She's come to us as a woman with a long and distinguished public service career earned the hard way. Character and just plain true grit are forged in the hottest and most intense political fire in existence. That's something called the New York State hand-to-hand political combat with tabloid press. Judge Bureau is a woman of first. She decided she wanted to be a lawyer at age 6 and never looked back. She got her start as an assistant district attorney for Westchester County, where she started the first domestic violence unit in a prosecutor's office woman to serve as a Westchester County court judge. Now, while some pundits have opined she might one day be appointed as President Trump's first female nominee to sit on the highest court in our land, it's in New York where she was granted the title of judge for the very first time. Speaking of President Trump, one would be mistaken if they believe that his admiration of the star of Fox's hit show, Justice with Judge Jeanine, began when the program first aired in 2011. No. In fact, they have been close friends and supporters of one another for decades, long before he even considered the presidency, or he could tune in, as he most often does, to watch her program. This time, it's the #1 New York Times best-selling book, 6 weeks running, called Liars, Leakers, and Liberals. It is absolutely worth picking up a copy and staying after her remarks this evening for her to sign it. I mean, given this week's new news about the president's well-known and long-held frustrations with Jeff Sessions, interim Attorney General, but don't take my word for it. Take President Trump's new book. It's fantastic. Go get it. Please join me in welcoming to the Reagan Library author and judge Jeanine Pirro. to do this.
Yes, I didn't realize that there was a second floor here. And I didn't realize there were this many people in California that I had anything in common with. First of all, thank you, John. Thank you for that introduction. And let me say that I couldn't be more happy than to be here tonight. But I look forward to spending time here even after the event is done this evening. I've always been a huge fan, and I will never forget, and I had it on my desk when I was a sitting VA, his horse with his boots, and that he was a man who loved horses, who was into ranches, but I don't have to tell any of you that. You're here. The man was an all-American hero from beginning to end. As John indicated, my friend, Donald Trump, who I've known for almost 30 years, is someone that I never expected would run for president, but I'm not surprised. And it's almost as though everyone knew, from Melania to his sister, who is on the Circuit Court of Appeals, which is obviously one down from the United States Supreme Court, they both said once he announced he was going to run, that he would win. They certificated about this man. Everyone who knew the man knew that he could win. And he came to us at just the right time. We've come out of 8 years of an economy where the news where people were working 2 and 3 jobs to pay the rent, to pay their mortgage, to put their kid in college. We had just come out of a scenario where the fact that ISIS was out there, it was nothing more than a JV team. When the president couldn't figure out, we were at one of the lowest points in American history. When this guy shows up in his politically incorrect way, when it was for us a relief, he thinks the way we think. He even talks the way we think. It's almost as though he is us. And it spoke for the forgotten man and woman in America for whom no politician has spoken for since Ronald Reagan. The forgotten men and women who worked in the coal mines, who worked in the factories, who went from paycheck to paycheck. A billionaire, imagine, who understands what it's like to need security and an economy that allows them to take care of their families. Up to that point, everyone was establishment. Everyone had planned for decades to run for president. This man just said, like Ronald Reagan, although Ronald Reagan certainly was a governor when this state was great, he said, I'm going to run for president. Now, what's the similarities? Why do people say they're similar? Well, for me, they added a certain magnetism who could bring you along. They have both been, in fact, in the entertainment industry. Obviously, Ronald Reagan a little more, but Donald Trump had a #1 show for years. Both of them believed in the military. They believed in a strong defense. Our president, Donald Trump, $700 billion in the military. Ronald Reagan, a strong defense. Both of them, law and order, law enforcement, all of the things that you and I grew up to believe in. What they became president. Both of them were divorced. And amazingly, hooked right into the evangelical communities. Because people saw that they weren't talking out of both sides of their mouth. They said, well, guys, I know Donald Trump in a way that a lot of people don't. It's not the caricature that you hear about in the news. This is a guy who would go on a construction site with a hard hat and shake their hands and thank them for their work. If Ivanka told me that she was taught how to use a machine, the same thing. These are strong people with an incredibly strong work ethic. And if anybody has any question about Donald Trump and who he is as a man, all you need to do is look at his kids. The proof is in the pudding. Not one of them has an ethic that's crazier than their dads. And I know their dad's work ethic. He used to go to my house all the time when my husband was his lawyer. We used to fly down to Palm Beach, and on the plane, he'd say, your allowance. We're going, I said this earlier, I forgot, we're going to Kmart to get supplies. I remember thinking, Donald Trump goes to Kmart, I don't go to Kmart. You know, I mean, he's real. But in addition, they both understood the importance of the economy. And right up, Ronald Reagan, a 6, he went up to 7. As a result, consumer confidence at an incredible historic highs. The stock market now higher than it's ever been. Animal instinct. But, the energy, the enthusiasm, the belief in America, all of the two of them, they shared so many common denominators. Both of them were Democrats before they became Republicans. All kinds of similarities and parallels. And what's interesting is both of them were anti-establishment. The establishment and the media were after Ronald Reagan. Both of them suffered from untruths. The guy in marketing to get Americans to come along with him, to understand the untruths that were being printed. And in my book, Liars and Leakers, I talk about one of the elections I was in for about 6 weeks. I ran against Hillary Clinton and I got out of it. I didn't run against her. I work in a dairy. I grew up in upstate New York, which is very different from where I work in Midtown Manhattan these days. But I went to a dairy and I came out, and one of my press people said to me in the car, they said, Ginny, there's already an article on what happened at the dairy farm. And I'm like, what did it say? And it said nothing that I said. I didn't realize that it was fake news. But I said, how can I possibly run against someone where the fix is in? It's already rigged. They're saying I said things that I never said, that I did things that I never did 5 minutes ago. And that's when I knew that I was not going to run against this woman. Said, I came up in the rough and tumble world of politics in New York in that regard. But what we're seeing now is something that we've never seen before. We've got a mainstream media, and we've got a Democrat Party that is totally unhinged. What they are doing to democracy, to the republic, to the American flag, and the American people. You know, one of the things that Donald Trump is famous for is that hat, MAGA, Make America Great Again. Presidential campaign. It was Ronald Reagan who said, I can and I will make America great again. The two of them, the parallels are uncanny. But I think that what this president is seeing is an effort to create this false narrative that so many people have approached, no self-regulation. They just do and write whatever they want. They source it anonymously, that like the New York Times did today, in that opinion piece to the letter to the editor. And nobody identifies who they are. You have to wonder, are they real people? Is it the deep state? Who is it? Is it George Soros? Who's paying for this? What is going on is dangerous. With Hillary Clinton. They tried to drag a corrupt criminal hag across the presidential finish line in 2016. She was as corrupt as they come, and she spent her life dancing with federal prosecutors, and no one knew better than Hillary Clinton about the requirements of classified secrets. She was trained when she was First Lady's non-disclosure. She agreed to all of this. Yeah. Well, she has this personal server. And she says, like we're all idiots, she says, the Secret Service was monitoring it. Are you stupid? The door to your server, people bought it. So you have to say to yourself, as I did, why does she need a personal server? And the prosecutor in me said, because she wants to do something she doesn't want us to know about. I can't move around on this afterlife. So, think about it. When you want to hide something, when you want to commit a criminal act, you have to do it in the quiet of the night, or where there are no cameras, or where there is no identification. Take it from any career criminal. You never commit a crime in plain sight. So, she sets up this server. The reason she set up a private server was so she could continue to get millions, and some say billions of dollars, into the Clinton Foundation, a 501c3, which was operating as a charity, which was nothing more than an organized criminal enterprise. It was paid to play. We lived in a nation, and we watched it, where American foreign policy was decided based on the cash going into the Clinton Foundation. And don't let anyone tell you anything else. You knew it. Americans instinctively knew it. That's why we elected the outsider president. We knew it, we could feel it, and if nobody was going to prove it, we would do it at the polls. And that's what we did in 2016. And thank you. Now, Jim Comey. I know Jim Comey. His office was right next to mine. He was the United States Attorney in the Southern District. I was just elected DA. All right? We did cases together. I like the guy. It doesn't matter. Irrelevant. What's relevant is he's smart. He's very, very smart. He knew the Justice Department. He was the Deputy Attorney General, and there was no way under the sun that a man of his intelligence wouldn't understand that an investigation of a national figure needed to be done in the grand jury. There was no grand jury panel. There were no search warrants. There were no subpoenas. And they handed out immunity like candy. Do you know what immunity is? Do you know what? We all know. Well, now I guess you're not supposed to walk around. Where's John? John, I'm not supposed to walk around. I got caught in there. Immunity. Immunity. You do this all the time. You give what's called a plea for a day. Are there any cops in the audience? Oh, we're not loving. That's it. Oh, this is California. All right. Sorry. I mean, God bless you. Thank you for what you do. Military. Got any military in here? Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. All right. So, Queen for a day. investigation. Give us immunity. We will testify for you if you give us a deal. That's the way it works. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. They gave everybody immunity. They gave it to Muhammad, Cheryl Mills. They gave it to Brian Pagliano, who set up the server. They gave it to everybody. Jim Comey gets up and he says, July 5th, 2016, no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute this case. Give me a break, Jim. Who do you think you're kidding? And he made a fool of himself when he said, well, gross negligence and recklessness and all that. He couldn't really describe it. He said he didn't really have experience in that. It was a state law. He's full of it. Now, he knows that as the head of the FBI, he cannot speak for Loretta Lynch, the district attorney. And he says Loretta Lynch had no idea he was doing this. He lied. He lied. Loretta Lynch said she and Bill Clinton spoke only about their grandchildren playing golf. An assistant DA in my office, if an assistant DA worked for me, had a conversation with a spouse of someone under active criminal investigation for 30 minutes, I would fire the person. Forget about anything else. I would fire him. This is fundamental. And they do it in front of all of us. And that's what's so infuriating. I hate it when people lie. I hate it when they make believe, oh, the law is the same. It's not. They took the bandages off Lady Justice and they said, you're going to protect the Democrats. And they said, we're going to free the Republicans. And that's what my book is about. My book is not just about Donald Trump, the man I know. It's not just about the media and the Hollywood hypocrites. I can go on. And we're going to open it up to questions in a few minutes. But the book makes it clear what happened. There is a deep state. I don't know if any of you ever watched The View. Well, I think it's when Whoopi Goldberg said, what is the deep state and who's in charge? And the first segment was pretty good, but the second was not so good. But it's fine. I don't really care. But it was a microcosm of what goes on in this country every day when the left tries to shut down the right. You are not allowed to speak. You are not allowed to say something that is pro-Trump, pro-American flag, pro-law and order, anti-crime. I don't know what happened. What happened to America? My father, a veteran of World War II, he was on the first ship to Nagasaki. He saw the plume. He died very young of head and neck cancer. My grandfather was in World War II also. We believe in America. We believe in the flag. We believe that no one is above the law and no one is below the law. These people are different. They think, for whatever reason, whether it's a Peter Strzok or an Andrew McCabe or a Jim Comey or a Jim Rafiki, all of those players, Bruce Orr, and I'm going to open it up to questions, and I'll get specific if you want me to. They believe that they are above the law. They believe that the establishment needs to be kept in place, the status quo. They don't believe in you and me. And very much like Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump has had to fight the establishment. But I'm telling you right now, he is the tip of the spear. And every day he gets incoming like I've never seen. I don't know how the man gets up every morning and fights a good fight. They go after his wife, his children, his youngest child. They go after everything he does. They would indict all of them if they could. And you want to explain to me why Paul Manafort? I could care less about this guy one way or the other. I don't know the guy. They break down the door at 5 a.m. for a tax case. They put the guy in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day before he even goes to trial. and these bozos are all walking around covering for each other, you should be furious. They all need to be taken out of cuffs. They don't deserve the freedom that they have right now. I want to say one more thing. I talked about my dad and my granddad. One of the things that we always had in front of our home was the flag. We still have the flag from my home. I get really angry when I hear about people like Colin Kaepernick. I mean, first of all, he wasn't even a good football player. What is going on with that? Who the hell is he? Why is he representative of all this greatness where he takes a knee? What are you taking a knee for? Who are you? You're taking a knee for social justice? Well, you tell me the last time you fought for social justice. You tell me the last time you called your congressman. Tell me the last time you voted, the last time you sat on a jury, the last time you wrote a letter, went to the school board. You tell me. He can't because he didn't. They make up this narrative, oh, we're all about social justice. Baloney! You're not about social justice. You're about tearing down the fabric of America, which was started in the FBI by some schmuck by the name of Peter Strzok and his Lamont Lisa Page. All right? They thought they could take down America, and they almost did. And this is where you come in. We need you. We need the young one, too, wherever he is. We need him. If you think 2016 was important, 2018 is more important because they are geared up. They are ready to roll. I don't care if it's a local election, a county election, a state election, or a national election. You've got to get out there. Socialists are running for office all over this country. And if you want to work the rest of your life to pay for someone else, most of whom don't even deserve to be here in the first place, then you can bypass this election. But if you care about what's in your pocket, you've got to get out there. Now, so now we have Colin Kaepernick. That's where I'm going. I'm going to do my open on Nike unless something breaks on Saturday. Who the hell do they think they are? Why do they think that it is in the interest of an American company to take a knee and disrespect the flag? Why is this narrative selling? Who is pushing it? Who is buying it? I don't know. It's not just the left. It's socialists. It's people who don't believe in the Constitution and the First Amendment and the Second Amendment and the Fourth Amendment. These are people who hate America. They want to make us a globalist country. These are people who believe that, like California, it should be a sanctuary state where American citizens are at risk. You are at risk in a sanctuary state. I'm here to tell you that. I don't have to tell you what the reality is, but let me take another minute. What is a sanctuary city, state, county? It's where you don't arrest illegals who commit crime, right? It's worse. Where you don't allow a cop with a warrant or a Fed with a warrant to come in and make an arrest. So, for example, when I'm the DA, my guys would get a call and they would say, so-and-so is going to be let out of jail. You put him in jail, and we want to pick him up on a federal warrant. Okay. Tell my guys, you work with Arizona, work with wherever. They want Joe Schmo to be picked up. So my guys might even hold them an extra 72 hours if the guys from the warrant squad in the other state or county couldn't get there. What they are doing in sanctuary places, they're not only not cooperating and accommodating, they are letting them out early so the feds don't pick them up with other locals, or they are telling them a different time, letting them out a side door, which then, I want you to think about the consequence. Then, the feds have to go in to a jurisdiction where the cops are not allowed to assist. And don't let anybody tell you that, oh, they just can't tell them where the guy is. That's wrong. There's a stand down. There's a stand down where the mayor or the county executive or whatever it is says to the cops, do not cooperate. You're in jeopardy in that situation. And did you notice how Molly Tibbetts, she's in the newspaper every day, until they found out it was an illegal alien who killed her. And then we never heard about it again. And make no mistake, we're all illegals. We're all good, Janine. We're all immigrants, but we're legal immigrants. We are legal. We offer something to America. You know, I used to swear in newly naturalized citizens when I was a judge. It was wonderful. These people are so proud. They learn the Constitution. They learn the presidents. They wave the flag. They thank God. They bring their mother, their father, their sister, everybody from the neighborhood. I'm going to be an American citizen today. They swear allegiance to our country. Today, totally different. I'm illegal and I'm here. And I want housing and medication and education. And I want you to give me every constitutional right. And you know what? I don't have a problem with people who love their own subculture. Every one of us should be proud of our heritage. I am. Every one of us. If you want to fly the flag of another country on your car, while you hate America and burn the flag of the United States, and you then kick and scream if we decide that you should be deported back to the country of the flag that's flying on your car, and you say, I want my constitutional rights, that makes me angry. And it should make you angry. And you know what? For all of them, for all those people who want to drive around with the flag of their country, God bless you. I got no problem with that. But don't you dare say, damn America. Don't you dare burn our flag. Don't you dare criticize us for our rules. Because if you don't like it here, go the hell back where you came from. It's true. Don't tell me you hate my country. People go and fight wars and they come back with fewer limbs than they left America with. They live a life of pain, they and their spouses and their children and everyone around them. And you hate America? Who the hell are you to hate America? We never invited you in the first place. So yeah, I have very strong feelings about most things. I grew up in upstate New York. I worked in a dairy. My dad loved my mom loved my dad. Everything was fine. I went to school, education, God, church. It was all part of my narrative. Then I was in law enforcement for over 3 decades. And I learned to love Lady Justice and the flag and America. And everyone in this room loves the same things that I do. All we want is the ability to take care of our families, maybe our kids to be lawyers like us, or whatever. My daughter's a lawyer, that's why I say that. My son's in finance. I never understand what he does. Everybody says, well, your son, well, I don't know. He does something with numbers. I don't know. We just want to dream. We want to be safe. We want to practice the religion that we believe in. We want to be able to say, you know what, I'm a Christian and damn it, I'm proud of it. Or I'm a Jew and damn it, I'm proud of it. Or I'm a Muslim and I'm proud of it. But don't you dare ignore the fact that this is a nation founded on Judeo-Christian ethics. That's who we are. When Barack Obama first National Prayer Breakfast said, and that's when the hairs on the back of my neck went, bang. He says, right after the beheading by ISIS of an American, I forget which one it is. It was Stephen, I'm not sure which one. It's in I'm pretty sure I put it in the book. He says, "Oh, you Christians, get off your high horse. Crimes were committed in the name of Christ." Are you kidding me? Did you hear what he just said? I remember saying to someone, "Did you hear what he just said?" He said, "It's our turn. It's our turn. Christ was behind the Jim Crow laws. Christ is behind the murder of so many innocent people. This guy is our president. This guy brought in
Isn't it our turn?
people we don't have
Yeah, a
any
slave
idea
is president. Isn't it our turn?
They were
An
flown in
American
from different
slave,
areas
right?
all over the country.
Originally is president.
Central America, MS-13. If you're from New York, I mean, they're all over the place. I know what they were because I used to prosecute them. To get into MS-13, you got to kill someone or rape someone in front of other members and then kill her. That's MS-13. And you know what? They are animals. Donald Trump gets criticized for calling that they are animals.
Well, we're all animals. We're all animals.
So
even
anyway,
Gilby is an
am I
animal.
open on Nike?
And he's
And I'm going to save it.
refined
gonna say
AF, as we all
But
know.
here's the thing. When I finish, I'm going to say, just do it. Okay? All right. Let's open it up to questions, John. I'm ready.
I bet you there's a question. If what you can do is raise your hand, as you can see, we have folks with microphones. So just wait until we have a mic in your hand, and we'll go right over here.
I want to say one more thing while she gets the mic. Ronald Reagan has one of the greatest quotes, and I quote it all the time. There are two people I quote. Elie Wiesel, who was a friend of mine that I knew, and Ronald Reagan. The Ronald Reagan quote is very simple. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We don't pass this to our children in the bloodstream.
This all makes
Must be
sense,
fought for,
except
protected,
for
and handed on for them to do the same.
for like for
He left us with a very strong message.
is the enemy.
Hi, Your Honor. Welcome to California. It's my birthday. This is the best day ever. So
Oh, thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I wanted to know, I'm from California, and I feel like we're drowning as far as the politics are concerned, and with Newsom and with Brown. It's like, how do we survive? What do we do? I know we can get out and vote, but I feel like we're such a minority that it's I don't know, I feel helpless sometimes. What do you suggest?
You know, it makes sense that you feel helpless because if you live in a state where illegals have more rights than American citizens, where the Kate Steinleys of the world can look at their dad and say, help me before they die, in a state where a guy received sanctuary and came, not at that time, it wasn't a sanctuary state, but came to San Francisco because it was sanctuary, you should feel helpless. What can you do? It's very simple. Everything is grassroots. Everything. You've got social media today. It is incredibly powerful. And like Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump believed in
They want
messaging.
people to use
Donald Trump obviously has Twitter and the social media.
but that's also the
but Ronald
problem
Reagan
with
believed in the
people
same
that are
concept.
speaking out against
You've got to
George
get
Floyd or
millennials.
anybody or saying the
From
girl
Maine,
crying
12,
on
and then
her
through college,
screen
law
is a
school,
victim
graduate
of
school,
cult
Berkeley, everywhere.
mentality.
They
But the
are
Trump
brainwashing
followers
people.
should use
They are
social
convincing
media
people
to
you shouldn't
speak
have
out
to work.
against Barack
You can
Obama
live off of rich
still.
people's money, but as Margaret Thatcher once said, socialism is great until you run out of the other people's money. But what you can do, to me, you go into the old age homes. You know, I used to do that when I ran for office right before the election, right before. And you tell them, you know, they have to vote. A lot of them may not vote. You got to get that segment to vote. You got to get the millennials to vote. Don't just say in California it's not worth it. You got to stop the local who's a socialist. That's what's happening. It's kind of like the Muslim Brotherhood, which is the political arm of Hamas. All right, I'm not going to waste time on that here. We have too much to talk about. But you've got to stop them because Bernie Sanders, the socialist, would have been the Democratic candidate for president of the United States, but for Hillary Clinton rigging the DNC. So that's the only thing I can say. You're welcome. Happy birthday. Yes, hi.
Friend of Donald Trump, and you love him and we love him. But he's attacked every day. Does he know how much support he has out here?
You know, that is such a great question. And I appreciate the thought behind the question. I tell him that every time I talk to him. I say, you know, and I spoke to him just a few days ago. And I remember saying to him, how are you? Was it last week with this book? I don't know what day it is. You know, we had the Manafort conviction. Yeah, Michael Cohen, that was, he'd say that, he's responsible for sinking the Titanic, a piece of garbage. But I think, and I know, can take anything. He can take, we spoke about this. He said, I've fought my whole life for everything. I've fought for everything. And he said to me, I feel bad for my kids. He said, I signed up for this. My kids didn't. And every day it's like, Donald Jr., is he going to be indicted? And then, it's Ivanka, it's Jared. It's, and I'm not even talking about nothing. I'm talking about bringing charges. This guy, Mueller, and I don't know. I'll leave that up to you if you want to ask about it. But I think he knows. When I say to him all the time, Donald, you have incredible support. Everywhere I go, people love you. Everywhere I go, people, thank you. Thank you. You know, we always have sold out crowds because people know that I love the man. I love who he is and what he stands for. So I tell him that all the time. And he doesn't need to hear it. He really doesn't. He just says, I got to do this and I got to do that. I mean, think about everything that he's done. I mean, he's an incredible president. Anyway, thank you. And I'll give him the message. Okay.
Marching in California, and what's going on with Mueller and Manafort is straight out of the DOJ FBI playbook. It's going on since Enron and the Merrill Lynch wrongful convictions. I'm not going to waste time with all of that. How can these people, Weissman, Rumler, you name them, how can they still be in the highest echelons of the DOJ and the FBI and in the middle of all of this corruption? I read License to Lie and I see what's going on, and it just makes me very angry when Manafort, who knows, who cares, but
okay. I got it. All right. It reminds me, my daughter said to me, and she's a young lawyer, she said, Mom, have you ever heard of Jack Whittick? And I said, yeah. And I'm waiting, she's young, they're different. I said, Kiki, why? She said, and she's not a criminal lawyer, she's, big shot Manhattan lawyer, big law firm partner. And she says, how did he get away with it? How did they let him get away with it, Mom? Isn't it murder? And I said, well, technically, Kiki, it's criminally negligent homicide or reckless manslaughter. It's not actual murder, unless you can prove that he intended to drive over that bridge with her in the car. But aside from all that technical stuff, I said, Kiki, it's the same that we're watching right now when your daughter is going to say to you, how did Hillary Clinton get away with it? When everyone knew and everyone watched and no one did anything. Now, the reason they get away with it, the reason that no one is being held accountable is because of some schmuck from Alabama. His name is Jeff Sessions, and he is the Attorney General. And I like the guy. He's a gentleman. He's a Southern gentleman. Nice guy. I don't know what's motivating him. All I know is that the deep state blew smoke at him and convinced him to recuse himself. As a result of his recusing himself, we have James Comey, who lied to Congress, who should be prosecuted. Peter Strzok, obstruction of justice. Andrew McCain, obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, lying to Congress. And I'd be here all night if I started with Hillary Clinton and what she'd be charged with. But besides destroying evidence and on and on and on, all federal crimes, he is the shield of front. And last weekend, I think it was, I did my open. I said, I was wild. The guy issues a statement saying, I stand for justice, Mr. President. You don't stand for anything. You don't stand for anything, Jeff Sessions. You are preventing American people from seeing justice being done. And it's not because they're Democrats or Republicans. It's people who disrespect the law. So you say, why doesn't Donald Trump fire him? Now, last week, he said, I won't fire him before the midterm. I don't know what it says to you, but it says something to me. But I think we have to win the midterms. All right? These people need to be punished, but they probably won't be. And the only way for you to get justice is to vote in 2018. Okay.
Judge, thank you for coming out.
Where are you? Oh, there.
Way up here. The second point, if you were Attorney General, what would be your battle plan for correcting the injustices?
It's very simple. It's very simple. The first thing I do is I revoke the immunity that was given to all the dirt banks in the Hillary Clinton. That's number one. Just so you know, there are grounds for revocation of every one of them as I looked into it. Number two, you impanel a grand jury and start cooking. All you need to do is say to them, vote. There's enough in those emails and text messages and congressional hearings to convict most of those guys. Number three, you need to make sure that everyone is reviewed. You don't just let people stay in a job because they've been there. If you are in a job and you're not performing, then you get fired. There's no reason other than the law why federal employees don't suffer the same consequence. And we've got to change that. We've got to change the deep state. And that's what I do. Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming, Judge.
Thank you.
I'm Bob. I'm a native of Los Angeles, and I have a statement to make. I want to tell you that I have loved, admired, and respected you from the first time I ever saw you.
Thank you.
And I want to tell. I learn something more about you all the time. I want to compliment you. There's a word missing in the language today, 2018, and it's class.
Oh. You're very funny.
And you exhibited that with that tramp of people. You know, I'm in professional sports, and we've been saying a lot. You don't get in a boxing contest with a skunk. And you exhibited that unbelievable. And I just want to compliment you. That made me absolutely love you more.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me just quickly say something. When I got off the stage and I went down, Whoopi had and I had co-hosted that show before, by the way. And I'd been on for my other books, but Whoopi had said something on the stage. I don't remember it exactly right now, but she said something like, you know, you and Trump don't care about victims. And that just, you know, my blood pressure went up because I spent my life crusading for the crime victim, the underdog, the victim of domestic violence, child abuse, elderly, you name it, that's been my passion. So I said, Whoopi, I have fought for victims my whole life. That's the one thing I said to her. And she said, are the kids in here? All right. She said, F you. And there were all kinds of people there. And I said, did you just say F you? She said, yeah. Now get the F out of the building. I'm standing there with my editor from the publishing house and hair and makeup, and they're like this. Now, I mean, I love to fight. I love to go toe to toe with those people, but I'm like, let's just go. I'm very calm at that point. I said, let's just go. And as we started to get ready to just walk out, she followed me yelling, get the F out of the building. The point of my telling you this is this. When ABC, a network, tolerates that, and they don't even apologize, there is trouble. And I need you to hear that. I need you to know it. It's not about the book. It's not about me. It's about the left and the media being convinced they not only can shut us up, they can curse at us, they can throw us out. They don't care if you're a judge, you're a DA, you're a woman, you're an older woman, whatever, they don't care. And that's what we're dealing with today.
Judge, it's truly great to just be here and listen to you. And as a clergy person, I got to say, as a preacher, you know, I've learned that you can't serve two masters. And I've seen a lot of finances from George Soros and others infiltrating churches and the ACLU and other spaces that are funding liberals to do wonderful things to just tear apart the nation. And just the churches used to be a safe place where we could go and get institutional spaces like the church where we could go and get good news. And we used to be able to get it from the press. And we used to get it from higher education. We can get it from Fox. But where else can we go to get truth and integrity so we can learn about justice again for this country and what we can do? What do you recommend?
Thank you for the question, but you scare me with that question. When you include the churches, when you include the clergy, religious leaders who are being told, you know, let's be ecumenical. You know, ecumenical pretty much means these days that you can take the Little Sisters of the Poor to the United States Supreme Court, sisters who spend their life taking care of poor and people in hospice. I don't know. The truth has to come from you. You have an enormous voice now that you never had before with social media. And that's why Donald Trump took advantage of it. He goes around the media. We've got to get into the schools. We've got to get in K through 12. I don't even know why we have a Department of Education. I don't. It should be something that the locals take care of within their local jurisdictions. And, you know, one of the things, I was at luncheon today and I said I was with a justice from the circuit court, the Ninth Circuit, also known as the Ninth Circus. No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. But I referenced in my courtroom, above my bench, it said, in God we trust. Now, you can't say a prayer, you can't have a creche, you can't say all the things like Merry Christmas, although with Donald Trump it's looser. But I think that now it's up to us. I don't know what else to tell you. But education, that's where it starts. That's where we got to go. Okay. Okay. I like your hat.
Thank you. I was watching the confirmation hearings of Judge Brett Kavanaugh today, and how lucky Trump is to be able to point not one but two for their supports. What are your thoughts on Brett Kavanaugh?
Brett Kavanaugh?
Yeah.
The guy's extremely competent. I mean, you know, come up with some decision that makes no sense. He is confident. He's a regular guy next door. You know, he coaches. He loves baseball. Baseball, whatever. He bought a lot of tickets. He's gonna make it. I wouldn't worry about it. But the most interesting part of it all, you know, she called us horrible. The people on the left have turned into unhinged, uncivilized deplorables. And you know what? The more they yell and scream, starting with Kamala Harris, the more they yell and scream, the more we dig in. Okay? That's what I think. And by the way, I think this president is going to get at least another one, if not another two. God bless. All right. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I want to thank you for who you are. And God bless you. I thank God. God bless you.
And I think, oops. In the wayward wind, it is a restless wind. It is a restless wind that's born to wander. And I was born the next of kin. The next of kin to the wayward wind. And the wayward wind, it is a restless wind. It is a restless wind that longs to wander. And I was born the next of kin. The next of kin to the wayward wind. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The fuck? Why does hey Lil Bleachy? Why is Jessica Jarva and Jarva Art not on your featured channels? Okay, Davey Walshy, who betrayed you, is number one on your featured fucking shit, and Jarv's not even up there. What the fuck? I fucking bleed for Lil Bleachy, and Bleachy just disrespects me, the ultimate disrespect. Unbelievable. Used to it. I guess, anything's believable if people do it. Disgusting.
Have and have not. Wealth gap is so large that it's not just millionaires and poor people. It's millions and millions of poor people, and then
with millions of dollars.
People can literally take over like the World Health Organization, worldwide coronavirus scares.
That is a harsh fire alarm.
Shutting down the economy with like a small group of people deciding to allow them to do that
That's
as
the
well,
Walshy
going along with the
signature.
plan, having inside information.
If the alarm ain't chirping, the alarm ain't working. 2020, Davey Walsh. I'm just thinking up new slogans for you. 2021, 2020 future time. How about that? Chirp it. Chirp it up. If there's a fire, this shit'll start chirping extra.
Best security money could buy. You can't get past the lobby. You're not getting in that bitch. And they're up there. They're watching the fucking fire.
Uh-oh, grandma's home. Uh-oh. That's Hoxie Boxy moving back into grandma's house. And by the way, I know all of Hoxie Boxy's emotionally torn secrets. And I will be offering a tell-all for anyone who's willing to pay the price.
Because when you're in the Hancock or the stairs, you can see the electricity hit the lake. And boom, it's like an explosion. Pretty cool. I've seen it. Actually seen it out of the Hancock. Point is, they're looking west towards the riots. They're looking north. They're looking south. They're seeing fires. You gotta just imagine somebody like who has orchestrated this or watching video of it or watching it live. I'm not talking about the idiots who got their windows broken. They're like, we're on your side, and then boom, another brick comes through. These hipster kids in Chicago are like, yeah, bro, oh yeah, riots, bro, yeah, Antifa. Boom, a brick comes through their fucking 4 stories up, right? Shatters their shit. They're like, bro, we're on your side. Why'd you throw a brick at us? Boom, another brick. Like, you're not on their side if you're 4 stories up in a condo with AC, not rioting. You're on their side if you're with them. Even then, they're just a mob. They might not be on each other's side, right? It's so ridiculous. These people. Some of these people, I don't know who raised their kids to be like that, but we know. Just more children of fucking chaos, children of lies, children of what we see today. But the gap between the rich and poor has gotten so extreme that people like Bill Gates, who have been rich for, I don't know, decades now, them people will probably graduated high school in the 70s. You know what I mean? And now these people have implemented powers. I think Obamacare was one of the things they really wanted to pass. So they could say medical emergencies can now, biological attacks and biological outbreaks can now be deemed, not just American crisis, but worldwide. They could stop flights. They could close restaurants. That shouldn't even really be a thing where they can nationwide close down restaurants. Like, where are the states that are like, no, we don't want to do that? Was there one state? No, they're all playing for the same team. I mean, why couldn't they? And now they're coming out with tents outside of all the restaurants. They couldn't have done that from the beginning. Damn, it's kind of it's muggy. Woo. It's rough out here. They couldn't have done that from the beginning. They had to start all this bullshit. You know what I mean? We all know it's all bullshit. We all know it's all bullshit. I'll get a little fire going. But I mean, I see people running in dollar stores looting. That means they ain't got shit. They're trying to get shit. And American poor is different than anywhere else. I mean, when you see people who are poor but are driving like a 2003 Honda Civic or 2009 Honda Odyssey, they're still poor. It shows you that Americans, as Americans, we just fuck off our money. A lot of us don't save money because we're irresponsible with it. And a lot of people are bad with money. And a lot of people drink. And drinking always leads to fucking cocaine or marijuana. It's not like a lot of people just straight drink. You don't know even just straight drunks. I mean, they're out there, yeah, but you never know what you're gonna find out here. These boonies, man, it's kind of sketchy. Like, you never know when you're gonna see a giant egg. So, let's put the paper first. Paper first. I'll show you how bad I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fuck it up. Because I don't have the right kind of patience right now, but I'll take a little time and do it a little bit right. Let's see if this thing is really green. I think it's not gonna light on fire for shit. Okay. Then we got this stick. We should break it in half. Okay. Gotta pile them all together. This is the first fire after cleaning out this jungle oven. We'll see how they go. Then we just got these giant ones. Getting filthy. Just from touching that thing on the top, fucking covered in dirt. The haves and the have-nots is the point, though. There's so many people that don't have shit and feel like they don't have a stake in this country, and they might as well go riot. Everybody's already gone through their stimulus check. Everybody's already spent their stimulus money. That shit's been spent a long time ago. You think $1,200 is gonna fucking save a country that's been just dying for decades and is in like post-apocalyptic fucking post-industrial wasteland, Detroit, Cleveland, Chicago? You think $1,200 to everybody is going to save the fucking country? I think that was just to keep people from rioting until they wanted them to, so they could make it like a race thing, because they knew people were on the edge of rioting. They closed down all that shit. People were going to riot, but they wanted to wait for the right thing so that they could make it like a race issue, I think. So they waited till they got their video of another cop. And did you guys, I finally went and watched the fucking, I forgot his name, but his last name was Floyd, the guy who got killed in Minnesota. I finally went and watched the video, and you could literally see the cop, when being confronted by citizens, will call him on the street and say, "Get off his neck. You're going to kill him." The cop's reaction was to be more defiant in the face of the citizenry. Like, who the fuck do you think you are telling me to get off his neck, bitch? I'm the police. And I do what I want to do. And you're not going to tell me to get off anybody's fucking neck. It's basically how he looked at me. Like, he was like, who the fuck do you think you are telling me to get off anybody's neck? I'll get on your neck. Because this is how the police have been trained. I swear they promote police that are more inclined to behave this way on purpose, it seems. Doesn't it seem purposeful? Anybody who's going to be violent towards the fucking, towards the population is like probably promoted because they're a psycho. You would think, right? The way things are going with the police state, they don't want fucking good police that are going to make things better in the neighborhoods. They don't want that. They want fucking civil unrest. They want everybody to be treated like shit. And you can't tell me no different. It's a fucking war zone. Everything's been looted into at least twice. It's muggy as shit. Nobody feels like really doing anything. Like, people don't want to cut their grass in this. People don't want to do anything. People are hot. People get hot, man. They start behaving erratic. More so than if they were in a cool, situation. I guess I could use this. Try to get our fire started. Just put that there. How long is it really going to take? I don't know. But yeah, the police look crazy. Police literally looked insane. Like, he couldn't believe that people, like, he was so defiant towards people saying, get off his neck, you're killing him. He was like, who the fuck do you think you are? And why did he have his fucking neck in that guy's back in the middle? And it was muggy like this in Minnesota. It's been very muggy all over the country. So now you've got that going on where it's real hot. The police are fucking bothered. The police can't act right because they're fucking hot too. And then you've got the police that cannot stand being told by the public anything. Like, who the fuck do you think you are telling us what to do? Get back now before we fucking mace everybody. The police behave like this. And they have behaved like this, like it's their city. Last night there was a car accident that killed a woman on the north side. It started on the south side like a mile from here or two. And the guy ran in a car, and they finally caught up with him, and they crashed his car, but he ran and hijacked another one, Grand Theft Auto style. Then the police ran into a lady who was 37 years old. They killed her. They ran into a Hummer. They put them people in the hospital. And the police were stuck in a car. They had to have like the jaws of life, get him out of the car. They called out the search, but then eventually they caught the guy. So there's been like fucking people just, this guy had a murder warrant, I guess. But there's just shit going on everywhere. They had to close the highway down because he was shooting out his window or something. I don't know. Just a month or two. And this is just the little shit I know. Because I don't really follow like the Crime in Chicago websites or the Crime in Chicago. They actually have opened up the emergency lines to the public. So now, if a member of the public wants to install this app, they can see, like, or maybe they can even hear the calls, but they'll be like, on their phone it'll say robbery in progress, 101st in Western, or home invasion in progress, a man with a gun walking down the street. And you can install this app now, and it's based on the 911. They've unlocked the 911 call centers to the public. I wonder why. After all these years of keeping that shit, close to their chest, they've decided that they're going to go ahead and open that up to the public. Makes you wonder, like, why they're opening that up to the public, that information. The rich elites do not care about Americans. They want the opposite of what's good for you. And everybody knows it, and everybody can feel it, that a small group of people with immense power who seize control for many, many decades now, and are doing everything they can to weaken people's religion, to weaken people's education, to weaken people's healthcare, to weaken people's, love for mankind, to weaken the family structure, to weaken the police, the police relationship with the public. I mean, how are you going to strengthen the police relationship with the public? But tell the police to go out there and impound as many vehicles as possible for things like a nickel bag of weed. You got to pay $1,000 to get your car out. I mean, there are literally whole police stations devoted to just impounding cars.
Like, they do not care about the crime. They're just on a mission, and it's to impound your vehicle. You know, the one you get to work with, the one you took up your kids with, the one, you know, you need to get around. They want $1,400, sometimes 12, sometimes 11, but if there's drugs involved, weed is classified as a drug. It's an extra 500 just to get the release if drugs are involved in any way. So they love just getting people on simple weed plus a dime bag. I don't know what the laws are now, but I'm talking about before they legalized it, of course. But they're still trying to take people to jail. There's towns around Chicago that are notorious for just saying, you know what, we're taking your car. Why? Well, we think you're drunk. Well, then can I get a breathalyzer test? No, you're fucking high. Well, how do you think I'm high? I'm not high. What the fuck are you talking about? You said I was drunk. No, we're taking your car. You're too high. I'm like, okay, then why don't you all park his car so he can come back and get it like tomorrow? Ain't that a thing police used to do? So that somebody wouldn't hurt nobody because they were too high to drive, but they could just come get their shit and they can come pick up their keys from the police station. I've seen that happen before. Nope, we're impounding it. I'm like, so he's not high, he's not drunk. You guys just want to steal his car. Ain't that about a bitch? And everybody knows it's a bitch. And everybody knows that they've been directed to do this and they make money off each car. You know, they all get a cut from whoever owns. It used to be the police would just own the tow truck company, but that became too obvious to everybody that the police owned it. So they put it in somebody else's hands, of course, but they all get a cut. I remember the one police from the one town got arrested because they were stealing cars and throwing them in the river with all that battery acid and oil, and then saying they were stolen. And then they were getting like full coverage. You look this up. It was the town of Willow Springs. The cops got indicted. They would literally take cars and throw them in the river. That's how brazen they were. Heaven forbid you get smart with back in the day. Heaven forbid you do now. Heaven forbid you do it back in the day, get smart with one of them. They're going to crack your head. They're going to bust your eyelid. They're going to scar you for life. They're going to billy club your fucking head a million times. They've killed people just by beating them. We just seen a man die from and that man wasn't even beating him with like, I've been beating walkie-talkies and stupid shit. Like, they beat me with their billy clubs, so they couldn't beat me with those no more, or they broke, or they lost them in the mud and snow. Ran out of shit to beat me with. So beat me with their fucking walkie-talkies. Dude broke his walkie-talkie. It's fucked up, man. That was a fucked up situation. Then they fucking saw me all fucked up. They took me to the hospital and threw me out the car. I've seen people be like, I didn't mean to say nothing. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. Backing up. And the police are just like, nope, that's it. There's two of us, there's five of us. Wham. Got them in the corner, stomping them out. You know, just mobbing on people. It's cowardly. That's why a lot of people didn't give him respect. It's cowardly bullshit. Where do you respect that shit? Oh, fire is crazy. That little fire, like them little 10 sticks I put in there, that'll go for quite some time. Peacefully burn. I mean, it really wasn't in there deep enough. But here we are. Road Warrior Armageddon. Nobody knows when the next thing's gonna happen. Everybody's just paranoid. Everybody's just watching everything. You go to the gas station, you're looking out, man. You're making sure everybody's safe and nothing happens. Nobody pulls no funky shit. I got all these carpets there, and I don't think I'm ever gonna feel like moving them, but I'm gonna have to move them. I think I'll move them here next to get all this shit to die. I guess I'll pull them up from the river. Maybe I'll put one right there. Like I'll put this one right there. But the rest of these, I think they gotta come up here and work on this grass up here for me. This used to all be like ankle height. Now it's all damn near waist height. There used to be a field back there that I was going to plant corn in on the right side of that tree, right in that little area there. I was going to put down pumpkins here. I never got around to that. I don't think it's still too late. I think I can still put up, but I got to do it sooner rather than later. They would get all the water from the area. It all comes down here, so they'd have plenty of water. Oh, there's my little tool. I think I was using this to scrape up like stones to throw in between my little porch area over there. This was my fire tool for a little while. Here's my little fire. We get some more ashes, we'll throw them in there. Okay. I'll get it in there a little bit deeper. See how it burns. I never made it down to the river. That was the whole point of me getting up. If this wood is so dried out after like 2-3 days after it rains even, then it literally just burns by itself. I guess this is how you kind of make charcoal, I guess. You have to burn the shit a little bit. I learned that from watching this thing about Haiti. They literally cut every tree down in the fucking country of Haiti. And if you look at it from above, one side of the country is lush and green, the Dominican Republic. The other side is like dirt colored, like sand, and it's been eroded because they got all the major roots down because all the trees have been cut down. And it's because they use charcoal to fuel their stoves and cook with. But in order to make charcoal, you have to chop down these trees around you. You have to put them in like a smoker. You don't light them on fire, but you like smoke them. Like you put them on top of a fire. You don't put them on direct fire or something like that. They sort of snake. And they, see, this is man-made by me, all these rocks right here, push down here. So now we got all this fucking plastic bottles and shit that accumulates. I'm hoping it'll wash away. There's a buoy. It's still here from the other day. I came back here the other day. I couldn't believe all the garbage right here. It all accumulates because this is unnatural shore. The shore is really where my shoe is right here. That's the real shore. All this shit is unnatural. And there's so many rocks that I threw down here that are like underwater right now that it goes out a little further. I tried to build a man-made like little shed, thinking all this shit, all these rocks would wash down and continue to build the shore for me without me really doing shit. Like all these rocks would just go down there. It's not the case. I tried it over here too. You see the original shore, and then you see where I've added rocks. You see it's just kind of funky. 23 minutes of me rambling. Well, here we are, folks. Being ran by elites that hate us, hate our ways, hate our history, hate mankind, it seems. They claim to love certain things but it's a selfish love. They seem to be like hoarders, psychopaths running the countries. And they've worked their way into the government. Now they've got the European Union, where they make all the rules for every European country from Brussels. They just took in all independence from those people. And it was supposed to be, of course, they weren't going to take that much power. But from the beginning, the plan was to seize all lawmaking abilities from Germany. And then what do? They say, oh, now that you've signed on to the EU, we think it would be a wise decision to take every refugee from any country in the world and flood your borders with new people who don't speak the language. And we will hire border agents that are on board with our plan. Say we'll be fired. So the border agents talk to the people and they're like, you don't have to give us your real name, don't worry. Just lie. Say your name is this, and we can get you like $1,000 a month and set you up. And we'll get you right into Germany. They're literally, by definition, if you go and look at the Geneva Convention's definition of genocide, they are literally committing genocide in their own definitions. The UN definition of genocide is if you single out and create hardship for one group of people, or if you create, unnatural problems for people, restrict access to anything. You can get more legal with it, and you can go look up the definition for yourself. I'm not doing a very good job at articulating it. But the point is, it's genocide, no matter which way you look at it, to take thousands and thousands, millions upon millions of immigrants and pop them down in fucking Sweden. A place where Vikings have lived untouched for thousands of years. Living out in the fucking snow-covered forest. And you're going to take the few cities they have and flood them with Arabians. Now, my idea is they're going to flood them with Arabians, and then they're going to flood the Arabians with cheap heroin, so that the Arabians can be the distributors or the drug dealers. They're going to bring the drugs in from the Middle East through Romania or something like that, and they're going to pump Europe full of fucking opiates, just like they did, the United States, to the point where there's a tipping point, and we see people's family members dying from heroin. Everybody's struggling from heroin. Everybody's struggling from cocaine. If people aren't doing heroin here, they're doing cocaine. If they're not doing that, they drink too damn much. If they're not doing that, they used to do it, and they're recovering. If they're not recovering, they're recovering alcoholic. It's one thing or the other. We've all been affected. And if you haven't done it personally, you know somebody who has, especially if you live in the bigger cities, like Chicago, New York, LA, San Francisco, so on. You've known people that had bright futures. Good people. And some of them, I know a guy who lived his whole life till age 40 and only drank occasionally. And then I guess he was doing, what's that shit called, Vicodin, for a car accident. And he got a little strung out on the Vicodin. Well, somebody was like, hey, buddy, you don't have to keep on making fake scripts. For $10, I can get you something that'll get you as high as taking. I literally saw this guy take 20 Vicodins in one, swallow. And somebody we knew, I was like, no, don't offer him heroin, bro. Don't sell him dope. He said, why not, bro? It'll help him, actually, because he's fucking gonna go to jail. He's writing fake scripts. If he just gives me $20, he'll be high for 2 days. I'm like, yeah, but the rabbit hole, dude, or the dead-end street heroin is. You can't give that to that man. And yeah, I ended up finding out he did. And the kid got strung out on heroin. Or the guy, he was 40 years old at this point. 3 months later, he had went to Cook County Jail. I heard he was in there for stealing a car, burglarizing a home, and possession of heroin and cocaine or something like that. But literally ruined his life in 3 years. And they got all these jails and all these fucking penitentiaries all throughout the country. Like prison camps. Like shit that would put World War II Germany to shame. The efficiency that America has in locking people up. I mean, they got transport, they got security down pat, and they got the facilities to house you. Stateville, Illinois is literally like walking into a futuristic catacomb. You walk in and it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, all the way to double Z. It starts at AA on one side and the other. Both sides. You look down it, 4 decks on this side, 4 on this side, and that's just A. 2 people to a cell, 4 stories tall, a shower at the end of each story. Once a week they take you in handcuffs. You put your hands through the chuck hole, they cuff you, they lead you by your handcuffs into the shower, then they take the cuffs off after they locked you in the shower, take a quick shower, and they bring you back to your cell once a week. Because there's a shower on each tier. There's like 4 showers. Bro, they can house, I don't know how many people. How many thousands of people. And that's just 2 to a cell. They could do 3 to a cell if they wanted to. You know what I mean? They could do 3 to a cell and then put the rest of the people in the gym. This is a giant barge, I should show you guys for in this video. I just wanted to come out here and get a little air. Kind of chill out. Kind of think about things. Kind of say to myself, damn, David, you do need to relax. You know, you shouldn't get so worked up. Look at how the current's going backwards. This water is very dirty to me. Very murky. And I wouldn't swim in it. And if you did swim in it right now and you were 20 feet out, it would suck you back. It would probably suck you into the barge. Who knows? Look how fast the current's moving. The water level dropped at least 4 inches. This boat will probably be manned by a French named guy. See Mike Blanchet. If you can see it up there, he's French. These people are French, and they've probably been sailing and barging these fucking waterways since the fur trade. He's got a tugboat. Making his way upriver. That's a big tugboat. There's a lot of room on that. Okay, now the water's going back the other way. And it just churns up all the mud and all the shit. Maybe it adds oxygen to the water, but to me it just kind of churns up all the dirt and shit. Look up from the waves. Imagine being out there in a kayak or something, trying to maintain. You got water that's going 3 different ways, man. That log's going back down that way. Turbulent waters. Turbulent waters. Welcome to the new Amerika. The ones where, I think might be the Amerika where the elites take off their masks and show themselves for what they really are, devils. Because at this point, nobody could put up a fight against people who control all the laws, all the resources, and all the money. There's no fight. There's no fight in the civilian population. The only fight they did was rioting. That's all they.
Hello, it's Laura Moraski, and you're watching Build Series live in New York City. This next act based out of Nashville gave their first ever live performance at the Grand Ole Opry just over a year ago. Now they're readying their debut full-length album, Canyons, for June 12th release. Please put your hands together for Colby Calais, Justin Young, Jason Reeves, and Nellie Joy of Gone West. Hi, hey guys, welcome to Build. Yeah, I mean, it's an unbelievable wonderful that's just over a year ago you did, your big debut at the Grand Ole Opry. You've known each other for quite some time, but has it been a whirlwind for you? It's been a whirlwind, but it's also been a really long time. So, I mean, like you said, we've been friends for 15 years, all working together, and we started writing for this album about 2.5 years ago. We released our EP a year ago, and now we have our new full album coming out in a couple months. So it's just been a lot happening. Yeah, to catch everyone up, there's a lot going on here. We have engaged couples, fiancés, we got a married couple on stage, and longtime friends and collaborators. So set up like how you all came to be, just for folks who are just getting to know you. Well, hi everyone. Okay, so back in 2005, Jason and I met. He moved from Iowa to Southern California, where I'm from, and we wrote my first album, Coco, together, and we've just been writing together ever since the past 14 years. And during that time, I had Justin join my band. I was a fan of his Hawaiian music, and he played guitar and sang in my band. We got to tour the world together for a couple of years, fell in love, and we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary together in the fall. And during that time when we were falling in love, Nellie and Jason met in Nashville. So I've been in Nashville 15 years, and Jason came out, and I was his first co-write there in Nashville. And you want to tell the rest of the story?
What is the rest of the story?
You always get mad when I say it. You say it.
Well, okay, so what she's going to say is that I had a crush on her. But that's so true, so there's no need to deny it. Basically, I'm really lucky. My first co-write ever was Colby. My first co-write ever in Nashville was Nelly. Very lucky.
He was a type for co-writes.
But yeah, we became friends. We didn't date for a few years after we met. We wrote a lot of music together. That was an incredible time. And then eventually, I guess maybe you just gave in or something. And patience paid off.
War of attrition.
Yeah.
We've been married now 8 years.
Congrats on 8 years and 10 years together. That's amazing. I mean, especially in this business, traveling around a lot. What was the tipping point for you guys to decide? Okay, I mean, we have all this talent. Let's make a band. I don't know.
Well, I don't know that we really thought about it, but thank you for saying that. We've been joking about it and just talking about how fun it would be to write a song together. And we had already sang together when we went out with Colby on the Malibu sessions, and kind of sparked the idea of us maybe doing something together. But once we wrote our first song, which is called When to Say Goodbye, and it's coming actually on the full-length album, which is so rare. You write your first song and it never makes the album. But we all loved it so much, I think that hearing our voices back on tape together, we kind of knew this was something special. We should try running with it.
Was there a hesitation on anybody's parts? Okay, like I'm good. Like Kobe, you have very successful solo career. We're gonna put that on hold for a second to jump in with 3 good friends and people. And what are my fans gonna think about?
Well, I always wanted to be in a band, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity. I took a little break from my solo career, and we moved to Nashville and wanted to try living somewhere new. And Jason and Nellie were the reason that we moved there. We, got to meet so many musician friends and just get to know a new city, which was incredible. And so, I think it was just this natural progression, like we said, like from the past 14 years of knowing each other, working together, and then living in Nashville and doing that album sessions tour, and then being in a room writing songs together. It was just something fun that I always wanted to experiment with and be in a band, and so it's been fun.
I got to talk about the album. What could have been the first single off the new album that's coming out? We've heard it before, but it's so great. Can you set that song up? It's about a heartbreak, but yet here we are, 10 years, 8 years over, and you guys are all together and happily, well, seemingly happily. But you're tapping into emotions that a lot of people feel during heartbreak. How did you evolve that song?
Yeah, it's a song we wrote with Jamie Kinney. He also produced it for us, and we went into the studio. I think he had listened to our EP in the shower that morning and sat down at the piano right after that. And the first thing that came out was, "We had blood on the tracks." And he sang that to us, and we immediately loved it. And it's funny, we are in happy relationships, so we've all experienced sort of that sense of regret when you look back at a relationship and think, man, if it just would have said this or done this or changed this, maybe things could have been different. So I feel like everyone can relate to it in their own way.
Yeah, I mean, that could relate to a lot of different things. It could be,
the job that you didn't get, or maybe the friendship even that that went by the wayside. So I totally can relate to that. Gone West, I keep thinking in my head Go West, but it's Gone West, the 80s band, the 80s band, and it's really significant for you all. Can you talk a little bit about that? And there's a song Gone West as well that kind of you described as your theme song.
Yeah, so, well, we all live in Nashville now, but we're all from west of Tennessee, just from California. I'm from Hawaii, Texas, and Iowa. So we're not in Nashville. We've usually gone back home. We're gone west. And that song particularly is unique because we wrote each verse separately. And we wrote it for our person about going to their hometown and bringing back the best of that to offer back to Nashville.
What, you have 4 songwriters in a room, right? And I'm sure you've been asked this before, but like, what is that process like? And how do you decide, who's going to do this lyric? Who's going to, be the lead? Because you all do take turns on the lead. And, how did that come together in the studio or outside the studio?
Well, every time it's like a new experiment, no songs are the same. Like, they never come out the same. I just thought of this when you asked the question, but it was kind of like 4 hands on one paintbrush on a canvas. I can imagine trying to paint a painting with all of us holding on to the brush. You kind of have to get on the same page and be like, all right, we're going to paint a flower now. Let's all try to move our hands together and put a daffodil in the corner or some Bob Ross thing. But no, it took a while to learn how to get into that process. It's not always easy, and sometimes it's so easy you don't even know you're doing it. So I feel like by the end of the record, we became really comfortable doing it, and we should start another one.
Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, we were really we tried to stress that we should all love, every line, every melody. So it took time. The producer, the co-writer, who could have been Jamie, says we have a high pain threshold because we're not just there to write a song in 3 hours and go home. Like, if we have something good, we want to labor over it and make it as good as it can possibly be. And it really is a true collaboration. We all want to agree and love every bit of every song.
What's important, I think that does come through with the songs that the fans and I've already heard. It's really powerful, and you can the harmonies. My gosh, can you talk a little bit about that and how it all comes together? Because it seems so natural.
Well, I'm always on top. I'm high harmony, and then it's always fun to figure out who's singing lead on what songs, and what could have been, I think, my favorite story to tell about that, because we at first thought it was just going to be a female vocal top down. And then we decided, I don't know whose idea it was, but someone suggested, trying to hear Justin sing it. And then we threw all of our harmonies on the chorus of that. We're like, oh, whoa, this is special, but what if it's a duet back and forth and both these people are feeling the same exact thing and they don't know it? And so I just think little twists like that make a song, good to great, hopefully. And this single, definitely, I think that was a good example.
Yeah, and it's super fun because we all get to sing lead on different songs, so it keeps the album really interesting. And I personally love it when we're playing shows live and we get to we do our part and then we get to sit back a little bit and watch someone else perform. And I think it makes it special and unique that we all get to take our own parts. And honestly, every song has been so different in figuring out who sings what harmony or what part of the song. It takes a lot of experimentation.
And don't get the wrong impression. Some of these songs, after we record them, we have to play them out. The first time we run them down, we're like, how the heck are we going to ever sing it? It takes a lot of work, too.
Yeah, sure. I guess you've been playing some of these songs live. You opened up for a few people recently. Reba McEntire,
George Strait.
George Strait, my gosh. And soon to be Kenny Chesney. Is that the...
Yes.
So, okay. So anything you learned or any highlights from opening up for George Strait or Reba?
I'm from Amarillo, Texas. So when George sang Amarillo by Morning, my heart just exploded with joy. And I don't know, hearing his voice in a live setting, it's incredible that at his age, I don't know how many years he's been doing it, his tone still comes through and it's crystal clear. I think it's even better than on record.
Yeah, I learned that, if your songs are good enough and your voice is good enough, you can literally just stand in a massive arena full of people and sing your songs, and that many people will come watch you. I don't have anything against fireworks and confetti. I dig that stuff. But if your songs are good enough, you don't need anything. You can just stand, because he essentially just stands there and plays his songs on guitar with his band, and it's an incredible thing to watch.
Yeah, so super talented. Has been in the business for so long. Kenny Chesney too, huge fan base. What's it going to be like going out on tour? Like, how are you going to translate this album and the challenges of the harmonizing, whatever it is, live to probably a big stadium, big arena?
Good question. I mean, I think that show's going to be perfect for us because we're all beachy and love sunshine. So I think we should just like take our shoes off, get on stage. Bathing suits. Yeah. I don't know. I like where this is going.
Amazing. I mean, so back to the album. We heard the EP last year. What else can we expect on the record for songs that we haven't heard before? Because it's country, but you change it up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we have a really fun song. It's a reggae country song. It's called New You on the record. And actually today with the Instagram that just came out, where if you pre-ordered our album Canyons, you got the first song, Slow Down, and it's a new song. And it's like this fun kind of like classic rock kind of feel to it. It's up tempo, and I don't know. Vince Gill is playing so
yes. Right. So how did that all come about? Vince Gill playing guitar on your song.
Well, we reached out to him and didn't necessarily think that he was going to hit us back, but he did. And when he was like talking about what huge fan he was of our music and all this stuff, I just thought, well, he's letting us down easy, and he's just going to say like, thanks for asking me to play, but I'm really busy right now. But he was like, so whenever you do it. It was literally that simple. And so yeah, we're really grateful to have him as a part of our first album because I think he's definitely legendary, and we look up to him not only as a musician but also as a human. So
this is not your first collaboration. I mean, obviously, famously, Jason Mraz. You did a song back many years ago with Taylor Swift. What was it like? Kind of like what's it like? Teaming with those folks versus now teaming with these guys.
Every collaboration is completely different, and I mean, one that Jason and I were super stoked on was we got to work with Babyface, and we wrote my song Try with him. And I think it's just amazing because you have all these people that they're either writers or they're producers or they're, just famous artists that we've all looked up to, and to get to collaborate with them and learn from them in the performing aspect and in the room. And, everyone writes songs differently, and it's really cool because we can learn from each other and challenge each other and inspire each other. So it's always just like a really cool experience.
Take me back to the times when because you co-wrote her first album, right? That was like the deal. Mm-hmm. Take me back to that time because it was like we're talking MySpace, we're talking pre-streaming. First album out of the gate hits. What was that like? And working together and then becoming getting hit singles.
It was still my favorite album to ever record because we didn't know we were recording it. Like, we had no intentions of what we were doing. We were writing songs in Southern California, mostly in my backyard, my parents' backyard, or we'd drive to Malibu, and we'd go back to Thousand Oaks, and the guy, Michael Booth, actually his birthday today. Happy birthday, Michael. He ended up producing Coco, and we would just go play these new songs, and he'd be like, let's just record it real quick. It was just this fun process, and there was no scheduling, there was no stress involved, and it was just 5-minute drive from my parents' house to the studio, and it was just, we were 20-year-old kids having fun.
It was my first time in California, really. I think I went there maybe on vacation when I was young to San Diego once, but actually staying there for a long period of time, I had never really experienced mountains that go into an ocean before, and it was really blowing my mind. I think that's really what inspired me the most, besides her, just her voice and her spirit. Just being in California as an Iowan, I mean, I had never been very close to an ocean in general, and that changes everything. You guys have an ocean kind of close.
Do Long Island? There's an ocean. Kind of close.
It changes the vibe, honestly. Like, it changed the way I write music. There's a lot that has happened to a lot of people. Many great songs have come out of California for a reason, and it's the atmosphere.
Did you know at that time, okay, this is something super special? This is, I have a feeling, probably, whatever the song was at the time, you thought this is going to be a hit?
I mean, I was so excited to be in a real studio. Michael's studio was so beautiful, and just the time we spent in there, it was kind of like being in some sonic wonderland. So I didn't really think about what would happen to the songs. I just thought it was a very magical time, just in general, as a creator,
Well, what about you? What was going through your mind during those days?
it was just so special. We had no intentions behind any of it, so it wasn't like we were trying to create a certain sound, and we weren't knocking on record labels' doors or anything like that. It was just this really unique, magical experience that was. We were honestly, it was just we were kids that were just getting to go in the studio for free, for fun, and record these songs and just bounce these ideas back and forth off of each other. It was just the three of us, me, Jason, and Michael, for that whole album.
Crazy. And now, how many years later, now we have this new band. It's kind of a cool new evolution of your career and all of you playing together. I have to ask, we talked a little bit about this earlier about, being touchy couples in the band. Really, what's it like? I mean, to be, you're spending a lot of time together, you're working together, you're living together. What's going on behind the scenes?
It's really hard. We're all used to working together as couples, so it's kind of a natural. We started working together for many years before we fell in love. Same for them. So it's actually really hard to not be with your person when you're traveling this much and you're putting so much time and energy into something. So I think it's really, and making music together is an intimate thing, like being creative and with people that you're close to and you're safe, feeling vulnerable with. So I think it helps.
Yeah, you were talking a little bit about being from the West. You're talking about the beautiful space in California, et cetera. But now you're all housed in Nashville, very cultural scene there. Of course, today, the tornadoes. So thinking about folks there today, but in Nashville in general, can you talk a little bit about the scene and what inspires you? Because this is a country record, but it's got a little different flavor. You all come from different backgrounds in terms of music.
Well, I've lived in Nashville for 15 years, and I think my favorite thing about Nashville, Tennessee is the songwriting community and just how much they care about, the lyrics and the people that we've gotten to work with. Liz Rose, Tom Douglas, these are people that literally every single word of every single line has meaning. And so I just feel like we're really blessed that we got to collaborate with literally some of the, not just the city's best, but I would consider them like some of the world's best songwriters. I just feel like it's like Nashville is the heartbeat of songwriting in the world. So,
yeah, well, I think it's special because it's so small. Like it's becoming a big city now, but especially 10 years ago, it's a very small town. And compared to LA or here, where everyone's kind of spread out, and you can drive an hour and not even be to your friend's house yet. Everyone is right on top of each other. And when I moved there from LA, you can feel that energy. It's very vibrant, and it's really inspiring to be living or even just staying in the middle of that kind of creative force that's just happening every day. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say the same way that he said California influenced their record. I think Nashville is almost like the fifth member of the band. Being creative in an environment, it infuses itself into what you're creating, whether you intended to or not. So I'd say that, it's just intrinsic in the music. The fact that we were there working with these people that are so embedded in the city.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about the state of country music today? What artists are you inspired by, or in general, doesn't have to be country music? Who is inspiring you today?
Well, in regards to country music, I think what's so cool about the climate right now is that you can turn on country radio and you can hear anything that's diverse, from Chris Stapleton, who we love, to Dan and Shay, who we also love, and even those. Yeah, and also, yes, Maren Morris, and all these different artists are so. They're not necessarily anything alike, yet they fit in the same space, and that's, they tell stories. Their songs are about storytelling, and they're authentically who they are. And so I think it's a great place for what we do. And yeah, I'm excited that they've embraced us so far.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned like other women. It's, you want to hear women on country radio. There's a lot of talk about that. It's nice to see a group with women and men getting the start there.
50%, right? We're going to help those numbers go up.
But yeah, is that something you think about? Just being in that scene? It's, people talk about it a lot.
Well, I got my start in a country band that was just two girls. And that was actually, 8 years ago. And I think the climate then was even more dry, if you can even imagine that, than it is now. And so I'm just excited to see all these new up-and-comers that we have, like Casey Musgraves, that are just really, truly paving the way for the next generation, the next wave of women. Like we have Ingrid right now that just came out, Ingrid Andress, and then Gabby Barrett, who are literally brand new, but
changing the genre overnight. So I think it's actually heading in a great direction.
I was just gonna add to Neil Towns, like her voice is incredible. These women that can just play guitar and just melt out. This is just the female vocalists in country music are absolutely top notch.
And you've seen it from both sides. You're in the pop space. Now you're tapping into the country music space, and you've seen all parts of that. So that's really interesting. Well, our time is up here, but we have some questions from the crowd. So let's get started. Josh is first.
Hey guys, I can't wait for the album. So, what is your writing process like as a group, and how do you find that like really special groove that resonates with each one of you? Good question.
That's a really good question. You know, every session is different. Every song is different. Some songs, like what could have been, we wrote really fast. It was really easy and natural. And then the song we released today, Slow Down, that was actually like an excruciating session. It was like 8 hours or something.
We slowed it down.
Yeah, I mean, like 5 hours of nothing, and then the last 3 hours we wrote the song. So, I mean, and you know, sometimes we'll start a song from scratch in the room together. Sometimes one person will bring an idea in, or you just bounce ideas off of each other.
I loved how we wrote Confetti too, because that song we had like the instrumentation. Eric Argis, who we wrote that with, and he had like this cool beat going and this instrumentation that inspired all of us to kind of throw melodies at it, but then we still didn't know what we were saying. And then Justin had this line that he had got from, I guess, what Colby's family, you say, like, they use the word confetti in regards to, like, let's throw confetti at something like as a compliment, but then Justin took that and twisted it and said, no tears fell, just confetti in regards to, like, a breakup. And I just about fell out of my chair because, I don't know, I thought it was so funny. And then the rest of the song wrote itself really quickly, so.
Thanks for that question. We have a second question from Christine.
Hey guys, thank you so much. My question is, what's your process like in the studio creating together?
Studio. We work a lot of times in pajamas at our houses.
With our dogs.
Our dogs.
Yes, the dogs,
Yeah.
you might hear them on the record in the background breathing. Or
In like a real studio, we probably only spend a couple of days, I'd say.
But like, Nellie's a great engineer, producer. I mean, everyone adds all these different things. I mean, we produced half the record by ourselves without another producer in the room. So it's really just all the years of experience that everyone has had with engineering and producing and being incredible musicians. And then the harmonies are.
And via email, sometimes we don't even leave our houses to drive.
We're too lazy.
We'll just like Dropbox stuff, and then they'll add some stuff and send it back to us. It's fun. It's a fun, creative process.
my favorite musician that we got to work with on this album is this Justin Shipper. He's a steel player. And I had never really put steel on any of my albums, and then come to find out the steel guitar actually came from
Hawaii.
Yeah. So it just made so much sense. Like, we're blending all these genres together, that we lean on someone like Justin Shipper, who really understood kind of what we were all going for aesthetically. So yeah, that was really cool to like see him throw it down.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that question. It sounds super organic, and fans will get to hear the whole album in June. So thank you so much for coming by today.
Thank you.
The new single is called Could Have Been. Please put your hands together for Colby Clay and Gone West.
big. Oh. Yeah, you're right.
There's 7 people watching this right now. It's interesting. This thing, what happened to to my Jarvie reviews the news? Why is Davy Walsh a gay transsexual talk show host? Jarvie explores. Mission exposure. Fuck. We died over here. Unbelievable. It's about to rain in Nebraska, I'll tell you that. Talking Jarvis, we get a time check, Jarvis. What does that mean? Do you see the lightning? Okay, so what are we watching here? Obviously.
Please welcome Michael J. Hey, so you guys ready for some fun, right? I'm telling you something, I work at a lot of radio stations, and this is one of the coolest experiences because you're so close to the artist. And pictures today, and that sort of thing. A couple of things we're talking about rules, though. There won't be any selfies.
What? No. Shit.
We want to thank a couple of sponsors, then we're going to get started. I would like to sponsor Hungry Catering, taking care of the
Russell.
food. Hungry.com. Let's hear it for Hungry. And I can't see very well because of these lights, but I'm told that M&T Bank is here somewhere. Where's M&T Bank? So here's the thing. I want you to know what M&T
Bank. I have been a customer of your bank since day one in Baltimore. Now, I know you guys go back to Buffalo and
This
all that.
battery
Here's
gone
what happened.
by.
I live in a little neighborhood. There's a bank.
Little Bleachies, feeling the thunder in Nebraska,
Well, it's a bank.
yo.
And then they were bought out by Allbirds or changed their name. I stayed with them right now. It's great. Then you and MT is going to major commitment on Baltimore. You know, they have MT Bank Stadium, which I think is awesome. Because now we can just get Lamar Jackson for a tighter spot. You can help. Can you help with that? I love M&T Bank Stadium. But thank you to M&T Bank for being here. We're going to have a little kind of conversation after they perform. And if you got any questions, I'll look for you. And I'd be happy to introduce you to the guys and girls when they get up on stage. But I'd like to bring them out right now if we could. 30 Tigers recording artists going west, featuring Colby Calais, have made their way here today. After spending, I guess, a week or so.
Where is
they played the
that thing? I keep, dude, I'm like, I don't know, like conceptually, intellectually, for some reason, I've given up on my phone. Probably because my phone has given up on me and deletes all my messages, but it's like, I just lose my phone for days at a time. I like don't even look at it. I like can't do it, and I'm starting to get a little bit of anxiety. I made 2 phone calls today. That was huge for me. Actually, I made 3 phone calls. Be proud of me. You could have just never heard from me again. I could have gone totally Howard Hughes. But I didn't. Does anybody know what's going on with Hawksbox? Because he said that he said to me that he said that he was never speaking to me again. And I don't know where he said this, but he didn't say it to me. So if anybody's heard any lesbian rumors of that type, I thought that we were both coming back to co-host Lil Bleachy. I don't know what happened to that. I never got the formal invite from Lil Ammonia. What's another rap thing that people do? Like, not Lil. What's another thing that's like Lil, like young boy Ammonia? I don't know why Jarvie's not on Lil Bleachy's featured channels. I can't believe that. I hope that it's the most heartbreaking thing about watching those new Davey Walsh live streams is that how horribly disfigured he's been by the accident. I didn't know about that, and now I understand why people were giving me shit for not reacting right and immediately to the Davey Walsh situation, because obviously he's been horribly disfigured, and it seems like he might have suffered some brain damage, and that's not anything to joke around about. So I want to put it out there that I think we should all start a GoFundMe to get Bertucci, Bethany, whatever his car's name, get the car, get the dog back, possibly get him out of Detroit. Wait, he's not in Detroit.